make sure you understand the reality of homeownership. The American dream that they sell you, it's a scam. Don't be fooled by the American dream. And what I mean by that is you may have heard people say it's better to own than to rent because a home is an investment and the payment will never increase. You get to do what you want in your house and it's yours, and you never ever have to move because you don't have to worry about a landlord telling you what you can and cannot do. Because I'm your financial bestie, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you buy a home and it is your primary residence and you do not rent any part of it out to generate income, it's not an investment. It's simply a place to live. That's it. Your primary residence is a liability because the first few years when you're making payments on that house is going towards interest. You're paying the bank. Very little of it goes towards reducing the principal and building equity. The second thing I want to make you aware of, the statement that I hear all the time, it's better to own than to rent because your mortgage will never go up. I get tired of my landlord increasing the rent every year. Well, guess what? If you buy a house, unless you're paying for it in cash, if you take out a mortgage, the monthly payment can change. Because when you're making the monthly payment, you're paying several things. You're paying the principal on the loan. You're also paying insurance, homeowner's insurance. So you have to pay a premium on that homeowner's insurance. You also have to pay property taxes. The county that you own the home in will assess the value of that home and determine how much your taxes will be. And this may or may not be applicable, but some people also pay an HOA fee. My most painful first property experience was as a result of the HOA fee. So I remember this so vividly. Those four things. And I'm not even going to mention PMI. That depends on your down payment and all, and the type of loan you have and all that kind of stuff. But regardless of the type of loan that you have, at least those three things you're going to be paying for: principal, your interest, the principal and the interest, right? You're going to be paying homeowner's insurance, and you're going to be paying property taxes. And depending on where you buy the home, you may or may not also have an HOA fee. Well, guess what? The only thing that doesn't change if you have a fixed rate mortgage is the payment on the principal. But the property taxes, the homeowner's insurance, and the HOA fee, all of those are subject to change. So when you close on that home and you get your little form that shows the breakdown of everything that you owe and that shows what the monthly payment is going to be, all of that is reassessed every year. And when you're making that monthly payment, part of it goes to the bank and part of it goes in an escrow account to pay your taxes and your insurance, right? But as the county reassesses your taxes, as the insurance company reassesses your premium, and they determine that your rate is going to go up, the money that you have in escrow, that's not going to be enough. So what happens? Your monthly mortgage payment goes up to make up the difference. So sis, yes, even when you own a home, your monthly mortgage payment can go up. So the next time you hear someone say that, tell them that's not true. So imagine you paying a monthly mortgage payment, thinking that your mortgage is not going to go up, and then in year 2 it goes up. And then when you look at the first few years of you paying your mortgage, your balance hasn't gone down very much because the majority of your payments is going towards the interest. And then as a homeowner, you're responsible for all of the maintenance and the repairs, not the landlord. I share all of this to make sure you understand the reality of homeownership. The American dream that they sell you, it's a scam. It's a scam. So if you choose to buy a home because you want a home, that's okay. But don't buy a home as a result of societal pressure or because you want to fulfill this fake dream, because the dream ain't real. And all the things, all the marketing that they do to sell you this dream, it makes you want to own a home by any means necessary. And you end up getting way more mortgage than you can afford. So if you choose to buy a home because that's truly what you want to do, not because you feel like that's what you have to do in order to prove that you've made it or in order to prove that you're successful now, if you truly want to own a home because that's what you desire, a few things that I would suggest is to buy a modest home. Your very first home does not have to be your dream home. I'm going to say that again. Your very first home does not have to be your dream home. So if you choose to buy a home, buy a modest home. The second thing I want you to make sure you do is make sure your mortgage payment is less than 30% of your net income. Don't let the bank tell you how much you can afford. They will approve you for way more than what you really can afford. So you run the numbers and make sure the monthly payment is less than 30% of your net income. And I say 30% because you're going to have so many other expenses. And if you stretch that number wider, if you stretch that number where a significant portion of your income is required in order to afford your mortgage payment, you're not going to be able to do anything else. You won't be able to afford to go on any trips with your friends. You won't be able to afford to buy that new car. So by limiting your mortgage payment, it leaves that wiggle room so you can afford the other things you may want to do in life. Another thing I want you to consider, when you buy a home with the intention of generating income. So whether you rent an extra room out, or if you got a basement, you got a finished basement, you want to rent the basement out, or if you buy a duplex, you live on one side and you rent out the other side, buy a home with the intent of generating some income so your tenants will help you pay that mortgage. Then that home becomes an investment. But I don't want you to get so caught up in the American dream that you end up house rich and cash poor.